I'll never live that down.
Are we ready?
Well, we got to get one more the representative.
One that played a role in putting this together, and as I said to Mr.
We need to make this partnership continue. We need to make it happen on an even more broad scale. We're a Minnesota company. We're looking forward to growing in Minnesota. And to do that, we're looking forward to the next stage of this great partnership. Thank you.
What's the best way to get down? The lobby?
Slippery!
The traffic situation, were you into the radio or TV?
Yeah, I heard it was slippery, but when I was coming over here, it was fine. It's just that I didn't see that car parked the wrong way on the wrong side of the street and came around and smacked him.
Obviously, you must know that this hill is going to be a little bit more slippery than others. If it was, would you go down it again?
No, not until it's 80 degrees or warmer.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Council that has to leave now. So what is the council's pleasure? We have 9.
The opportunity to defer it to another meeting, as it was scheduled.
A law states that we shall.
Another waste of time. Councilor Thorson called me last night requesting this meeting for consideration of overriding the mayor's veto. I took the time, I set up the meeting, we come here, and now it's another game being played. The vote's not taken. We didn't do what we were called here to do.
By doing this tonight, we will get the people from grants and donations here. We will get proposals here that are concrete, and we'll be able to vote on the veto and also vote on trying to establish a budget all at the same time.
For many, today's Christmas celebration began with a very special ride on Frank Klaeski's Clydesdale Hayride.
This is one of the little things that kids growing up in a small town get to enjoy that a lot of the kids growing up in a big town never really have the pleasure of participating in. This is something that's small town America.
As for Santa, he doesn't see anything different in kids from a small town.
Some wanted ice skates, some wanted wagons, some wanted dolls. Just all kinds of stuff. I live for this. This time of year, I live for it.
Another highlight of the evening, the lighting of the Christmas tree and the caroling around it. But one of the biggest reasons Christmas is so special in Kettle River is because they remember that giving warms the heart even more than receiving, and they show that in a very tangible way. From a free clothes shelf in exchange to the community chili dinner, all ingredients and talent coming from the residents of Kettle River.
It's one way to bring the community together. It's a small area, and it would be nice to see people come together a little bit.
Only 200 people, Kettle River is kind of a small package. But what a package it is. In Kettle River, Heather Filkins, News 6.
Steve, come up and eat, Robert.
Oh, yeah.
You moved it too fast. I was thinking about my knees.
Okay.
There is the problem of intoxicated operation. Just like with motor vehicles, with cars and trucks, people's judgment falls off, and accidents happen. And
Northwest stability in the late 1980s and early 1990s mirrors much of the airline industry. After a leveraged buyout by Al Checkey and Gary Wilson, Northwest was crippled by the effects of the Gulf War. Air travel was down and fuel prices jumped. Those factors, combined with the crippling debt from the buyout, left the airline on the brink of bankruptcy. Northwest has lost over $880 million since mid-1990. They've used up a $270 million loan from the Metropolitan Airports Commission and exhausted a $600 million revolving line of credit. In response, Northwest tried to compete in the fare wars, canceled orders for Airbus aircraft, and sold off stockpiles of equipment for cold cash. Financial analysts then lowered ratings of Northwest's financial standing.
There's the concern about Northwest Airlines and their financial feasibility. And we are going to be monitoring that in the weeks to come. And one of the things we have to keep in mind is that the state has to do a due diligence before this project really does move ahead.
But Northwest says brighter times are ahead. A $1.8 billion operating profit is predicted for 1993. The airline will realize $300 million in union concessions each year for the next 3 years. The carrier shareholders and suppliers have granted $250 million in additional loans, and the state of Minnesota's $350 million loan for maintenance bases is still pending. Airline industry observers say Northwest can get back on stable ground if several factors come together. Another airline fare war would be devastating. Fuel prices must remain low. The overall economy needs to improve to keep ticket sales up. And finally, an international partnership with KLM Royal Dutch Airlines would strengthen Northwest's hold on Atlantic routes. Airbus maintenance bases in Duluth and Hibbing will remain on hold until the state's $350 million bonding package is sold. Northwest says if the plan is approved, construction can begin. In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.
Superior was selected, I think, is obvious.
Protection that we have not had in the past, but we very drastically needed. And I think, you know, it's been a long time coming.
Statement because we haven't met to look at it, but what I wrote is that the women's process of listening and education and nurturing McPherson is an excellent be as the Pope says, and maybe even more, but there's all people who are treated unjustly.
Can you imagine condemning sexism in the world in an institution that is overrun with sexism, and it just is really a painful thing.
Do you think that this task, why is there going to be to support women's ministries? We don't have to have ordination. We could start with something else, like.
Don't show them yours quick.
What?
Jump at somebody else.
It's equipped pretty good. It used to be owned by this.
With the navigation equipment and with the assistance of Duluth Approach, they have very good equipment, and they can pretty much pinpoint you. You know, they told me exactly my distance from the airport and exactly where the airport was in relation to me as I was coming in.
Right. I just get pleasure out of seeing them have a nice day. You know, I don't want to see anyone home alone.
It's pretty scary. I've been going on day to days.
don't know what to really say. It's devastated us. And we're making it, I guess.
Tonight's benefit dinner was for the children of Kari and Norman Schuster and Sue Dickinson. The 5-month-old Kaylee Schuster is being cared for by her grandparents, 6-year-old Brooke and 4-year-old Jake Dickinson by their father, Wally.
They talk about it a lot and frustrated and a lot of different feelings. It's hard sometimes, and it's making it.
Not only the children are making a difficult adjustment, the families left behind must deal with the tragedy.
It's been tough for Wally. He's doing very well as far as a man raising children on his own. I give him a lot of credit for that, but it's tough. It's tough for everyone.
Tonight, the families gather to remember their loved ones and to look to their children's future, but also to think about what drinking and driving can do in only an instant.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about drinking and driving and people saying that they are not going to do it anymore, people realizing that it hits home, other people realizing that other people aren't okay with it, and hopefully people will stop and they'll learn something from it.
But all I can say is it's something you don't mess with is drinking and driving. It can hurt a lot of people if something bad happens.
In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.